can handle.
Yo, what's good? This is Chairman House of Barf. Thank you so much to anybody and everybody who decided to stop by Kick with your man Chairman. I really do appreciate it. Just getting things started. Let's see what, just take a look at what CNBC is talking about.
You know, in the earliest days of my time at Goldman,
Jim O'Neill, former Goldman Sachs asset management
I
chair.
goaded Bill Dudley and his colleagues, and Bill obviously went off to run the New York Fed many years later to create these financial conditions indicators. And financial conditions are pretty accommodative. And even though rates have risen sharply the past 18 months, if they were really, really punitive, I would have thought financial conditions would have struggled to.
It looks like they're discussing the Fed expected rate hike. They're talking about possibly about 25 basis points. So let me see. You know me, times 0.1. So that's approximately, what's that, 0.25%. Okay, cool. Just be a little bit of rate hike. I can't remember what the current rate is. It's let me see what the current interest rate is. I think it's like 5 something. Oh man. Okay, give me just 1 second. Sorry about that. Oh, okay. For some reason, my voice is not working right now. My voice search. I don't know why, but okay. Let me look up current mortgage rates. 30-year fix is approximately 7.77%. So yeah, that's. Let's just take like a $300,000 loan, times that by 0.0777, and that's 23,000. Now, I'm just making these numbers up. That's 23,000. So I'm just kind of seeing what. Now let's take the same 300,000 and times it by, let's just say 0.04. Let's do 0.05. What it may have been, just a few months ago, and that's 15,000. So 23 minus 15. That's a difference of like $8,000. That's crazy. Of what you would be paying if you were trying to get into a home. Yeah, and so basically it goes to the end of that it's time that you're gonna have to start having that. And listen, I'm not in real estate at all. I don't even want to talk about it. But this is the reason why a few years back people were discussing having that 20% to put down on a home. So that you didn't have that high ass interest, because that's the thing about interest. I'm not trying to get all into it, but interest really doesn't matter, depending on how much you can put on the principal of anything. You know what I'm saying? If with anything, if I give you $1, you could have 100%. You could have 1,000% interest rate. You know what I'm saying? But if you can pay that dollar back to me, you know, before the interest kicks in, then you're doing okay. But once the interest payments kick in, that dollar, let's just say I did that. Took $1 and times that by 1,000%. That's $10. So on that $1, after the interest kicks in, now you owe me $10, and then $20. And that $1 actually gets added on. So now let's take that $10 and let's just go ahead and add on $1. So now that's $11, right? And then not even mention all the fees and everything associated. So then let's take the $11 and still going to charge that same 1,000% interest. That's another. No, I think I did that wrong. My bad. Give me a second. $11 times 1,000%. equals, so, oh gosh, now we're hopping into 110. 110, and it's just outrageous. But as long as you can get like that principal down, and really, I'm not saying that interest rates don't matter, but I don't know the exact formula on the top of my head, but it's like principal times rate equals interest. You know what I'm saying? That's what interest is. You know what I'm saying? So if you can get that principal lower, then it's principal times rate. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, but yeah, that's crazy. And then it's going to go up approximately about another 0.25%, and that shit just adds on, especially if you're in like any adjustable rate, like mortgages or credit cards or anything like that. Then the banks can go ahead and say, well, hey, interest rates are going up and you signed up for an adjustable rate or a variable rate, however they, word it, compared to if you got that fixed rate. And that's what people feel safer in. It's like you lock in that fixed rate. You don't got to worry about the interest rate so much. But let's just say, for example, a situation I've kind of been in where the mortgage company told me something about some fees that were, or insurances or whatnot that were on my mortgage, and it was supposed to fall off after 3 years, or 20% of the principal is down. It happened, and now we're looking for paperwork saying that no, we agreed to 3 years. They're saying no, we agreed to 30 years. So I could easily say, okay, y'all want to play that game. I'm just going to refinance with another bank. Go to another bank instead of having maybe that lower interest rate that I had. Now I got to do the math of getting those fees and everything off, and then possibly getting a higher interest rate. You know what I'm saying? So it's a whole lot of games. It's business. It's business. And as long as, you're not aware, let's say, for example, I was paying all these insurances and fees, not even paying attention. Just like, oh, this is what my monthly mortgage is. There could be so many fees and insurances that you're paying. Man, I remember one time I had a case of this wasn't with the regulator. This was I don't even know where I was, but had a situation where somebody added like an insurance or fee onto somebody's electricity bill. This was real popular in Maryland. I'd probably say around like 2015, 2016, where people were adding these. They'll come to your house and they'll tell you something like, hey, we have a way to lower your electricity bill. And they'll go into their system and they'll say, we're going to add something to your electricity that's going to lower your electricity bill. Well, it didn't lower it. As a matter of fact, it increased it. Essentially, I don't know what would happen, but you still had your regular insurance, whoever it was with. And then this company, you were using their whatever addition, whatever they put on, so that they could charge you as well. So instead of your bill going down, I don't know exactly how it worked, but your bill went up $50, $60. There's people out there that were just like, oh yeah, cool, my bill will be lower. Didn't look at the bill at all for like 2 years. Now they realize that they had this $60 fee on their electricity for 2 years. And then they want to call and say, hey, like, this was a scam. Is there anything y'all can do to, like, backtrack this or anything? And it's like, man, there was nothing that we could do. That was something you worked out. So there's so many people, and that's something that probably should be discussed, various fees and everything that organizations try to add on. Now, some fees, the futures do not look good today. Looks like we're gonna be in the red today. So this would be a good day to short and buy puts long and probably sell call contracts. But we'll get it all figured out. I didn't even really get to run those ticker symbols again. I'm not trying to say anything, but I'm in really a rough patch right now. So when I put the content down, crap, Crap, I don't even have all my papers. Where they at? I'm trying to find them. Um, when I'm not creating the content, I kind of put it down and found something to eat and just kind of stuck to myself. And it's hard to fall asleep. I'm having nightmares, just dumbass nightmares of, seeing, seeing my spouse going on dates and whatnot. But so I really do believe in dreams. Like I'm really a dream person. I believe it's your conscience, subconscious, the omnipotent, all this wrapped up into one, trying to pull messages and bring them to your attention. So it's very hard. So real quick, this is not anything associated with barf, but let's just do it real quick. Why is my voice search not working? Voice search is turned off. What? Okay, I'm gonna figure this out. But let me see. Let me just put this in real quick. Like for example, like even a cheating dream is not exactly what it seems. So let me go ahead and put it. What does it mean when you dream about your partner cheating? Let's just say partner cheating and watch it. Let's see what they say.
Search results. Cheating dreams may be symptomatic of underlying unmet needs in your relationship. According to experts, cheating dreams can often be traced back to emotional dissatisfaction, sexual dissatisfaction, or unresolved feelings about a past infidelity.
So, yeah, it could be unresolved feelings about a past infidelity. Now, this is just some random website that I picked. But also, cheating dreams really could just simply mean, you have needs that are not being met. It doesn't necessarily mean like, hey, I know you're cheating on me. It's like, how do you know? It's like God gave it to me in a dream. It could be true. It depends. You have to look up your dreams and see what they mean. Let's just pick another one. What is a dream when I am falling out of the sky? You're falling out of the sky. This is like a dream you'll have sometimes. Let me see what they say.
Search results. Dreaming about falling from the sky. Many people interpret dreams about falling from the sky as a reflection of their feeling out of control. Feelings of indecisiveness, fear, or doubt may bubble up during the dream and after you wake.
Yeah, I can't remember. So essentially, falling out of the sky just means you feel out of control. But I recently had some dreams that I looked up recently. I was like, hey, what does this dream mean? I can't even remember what it was, but I just remember it was a positive message, and my dream was nothing. It was like, crap. Let me see. I think I was being chased by a lion. It was a terrible dream. God awful dream. But then I woke up and I was like, what was that about? Let me see. And then I was like, oh, that's a great dream to have. Let me see. Dreaming. My computer's acting real stupid right now. I don't know if I dropped it or something. Dreaming about being chased by a lion. All right, let's see what this one was about.
Search results. An interpretation of dreaming about being chased by lions points to the need for increased protection. Feeling vulnerable or threatened in your waking life may be expressed by this scenario in dreams. The lion could represent fear and anxiety surrounding physical safety.
Okay, that may not have been it. Here, let me see. Okay, there may be another interpretation. See, and that's the other thing is like I'm picking random websites, but they're saying
Safety. The lion is a representation of power, courage, and sovereignty. Dreaming of a lion represents strength, power, courage, and a strong will. It symbolizes the desire to be in control of your own life and destiny. The lion is a powerful animal that embodies the spirit of confidence and determination to succeed in life.
Yeah, and it was either being chased by a lion or something. And it was just like, hey, that's a powerful dream. That's a meaning that it's kind of one of the dreams that helped me get Barf started. Because if anybody knows, anything about Chan, I'm really kind of a person that likes to lay low. I really don't like a whole lot of attention. Not saying I'm proud about it, but it's just something about myself that I really just like to be low key. However, when I was dreaming, it was like, hey, that's a dream about power and getting control of your life and everything. I was like, you know what? I just got to go for it. And trust me, I got a couple people who found out about the podcast, one way, shape, form, or another. I'm not sure, maybe somebody I did told them about the podcast, and they may have told somebody else. So, of course, a couple people I was talking to was like, oh, we know that you may have, certain things going on, hence the podcast. But, it may be time that you start, getting a full-time job and everything. And I'm like, hey, look, just give me, it's been 2 or 3 months, and not even just 2 or 3 months. I've had the worst experiences, not the worst, but some pretty bad experiences recently. It may be a good time for me to try to get my mind right. Because the way I went out of my company wasn't fun. I was constantly being bombarded, not even just with work. So they would say my work wasn't up to par, and they would constantly be like, here's another training. We're going to put you on the phone with this mentor. So my day is so jacked, and not even to mention, I still had to make regular meetings. You know what I'm saying? Like, my day was so jacked up. The only thing that I could do was wake up 4 hours before work, stay 4 hours after work to try to make up all that with all the meetings and extra trainings. That shit was kind of backwards to me. Like, we can see that you're struggling. Not saying that I was struggling, I don't know. But we can see that you're struggling. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you the same amount of work plus 10, 20 more things to do. Like, okay, you're going to have to meet up with these mentors. You're going to have to meet up with these trainers. We're really trying to support you. And at the same time, we're going to keep writing you up on probation, for underperformance. And I'm like, what the fuck? At the same time, I'm dealing with my spouse, allegedly cheating on me, dealing with the banks scamming me, and then the regular bills just coming in. So I'm dealing with all this at the same time, and I'm not even really truly thinking about it. I am thinking about it, but I'm more so just pumped. Even to this point, even with Barf, as soon as my career was over, I hopped straight into Barf. I just, all right, just going to keep pump. And at the same time, I'm getting phone calls from people telling me how disgusting of an individual I am, and how stupid I am, and how much of a dumbass I am. And I'm trying to deal with that, with all that. At the same time, I got in-laws and whatnot, trying to sell my house and trying to get my children and telling my spouse whatever they're telling her. I have no idea. I'm dealing with all this in the last total 2 or 3 months, total 2 years. This is going on 3 years. This has been my last 4 years, because it started kind of during COVID. When COVID hit, my career hopped straight into it. I didn't have that 2 or 3 weeks where, companies getting figured out. Some people had 6 months, some people had a year. My company, 2 or 3 days, boom. I mean, we're fraud investigators. If we're down, then you already know it's going to go crazy. So, of course, when you're working from home, you want to prove to your company that you're not just sitting around jerking off, playing around, whatever you're doing, fucking your spouse, getting paid to take a shit. just chilling. You know what I'm saying? So I went kind of the opposite. I kind of went extra hard. I was like, I'm not going to let them think that I'm fucking up. So go extra hard. So when I'm doing this, this is probably around the time when my spouse has probably started entertaining other gentlemen, and not gentlemen, because they're not gentlemen at all. Because I mean, but what goes around comes around. So they may be able to satisfy their fantasies of being with a married woman, but one day they're going to be hopefully married with children, and hopefully they'll experience what I'm experiencing. So yeah, so I guess I kind of was neglecting my duties as a father and as a husband, and then I'm getting to the point. So fast forward 2 years later, I'm in this whole 2 years. I'm on probations and all type of shit. So fast forward 2 years later, it's coming to the point. My company's like, yo, we've put you on so many probations, so many trainings and everything. We're at the point where we're just going to terminate you, right? This is like, and I'm just like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? And so I get to the point where I'm about to get terminated. So I start not giving a fuck. I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to, I'm chilling. I'm relaxing. This job is not going to kill me. Well, guess what? Now it's 2 years later that my family is like, well, I don't think you think you can just come around and just be. I mean, it's not that I wasn't handling all the extracurricular activities, and I was handling all that. I was watching my children. I was handling all the duties. I'm dead ass. I was watching the kids, doing work, handling all the extracurriculars, but they were like, you weren't there. You weren't present. You were always thinking about your cases. You were always thinking about your job. You were always trying to protect us. You're always trying to pay bills. At no point were you ever the dad that we knew, or the husband that we knew, the one that we loved, so that shit just went crazy. So then now I'm losing my job, and I guess I'm trying to integrate back into the family, but one person in particular is not having it at all. And if your mom or wife or whatever is not having it, in my personal opinion, she influences the children to not have it. So now the children are like, yeah, you're not our dad. And she's like, yeah, you're not my husband, and all this shit. And I want a divorce and everything. I just lost my job. Now, but I will admit, getting close to losing my job, she was dropping hints. You lose your job, we're out of here too. You lose your job, we're out of here too. So there was absolutely no support at all from my immediate family, from my spouse, from my children. I mean, actually, my children were very supportive. They were very supportive. They were cracking jokes about it and all. But to say all this shit has just been crazy. So I actually was talking to another buddy of mine, just an associate, and so essentially, I ain't really tell nobody this because I may have some things going on. Essentially, the thing that led to my termination was I didn't log into my computer. I got to a point where I was just too stressed out. I was stressed out. I was sweating during sleep. I was crying. I was just so out of it that couple of days I didn't log into my computer. Right. So I'm talking to my buddy, and I'm like, they're going to try to flip the script on me and say that I abandoned my job, which they did. And same game that my spouse is playing against me. Shit, you know what I'm saying? I'll even say. So my spouse will threaten me with police phone calls and whatnot, completely fake shit. Or will poke me, and then will keep poking me. And if I raise my voice or anything, then or if I even, like, let's say she'll have the police on the phone, and we'll be waving it in my face. She won't call, but she'll say, I got him right here. Got him on speed dial. You know what I'm saying? And then if I raise my voice or anything, she'll call the police, and then I'll leave, and then she'll call, like, I believe, like, her lawyer or something, and then say, he abandoned the family. So that's essentially kind of the same thing I was dealing with the job. The job was putting me in these stress positions, and then going to try to sit around and say he abandoned. I was talking to my associate, and they were like, "Chan, look, you." So I felt terrible, and they're like, they kind of encouraged me. They were like, "You did what you felt you had to do, man." Like from the way you're describing this shit, there's always three sides to a story, right? Their side, my side, the middle, whatnot. And they say, just talking to myself, say, you did what you felt like you had to do, man. Your mental is being so tested right now that it's amazing that you're sitting here surviving, like with all this going on. So it might have been the best thing for you to do. Maybe not for the job, may not be able to get back with that company ever again. It's going to look bad to other companies. But what's most important is it that unfortunately you may be out of the securities industry, that no company is going to want to hire you, whatever. Or is it your mental health, and I was like, of course, like my mental health is most important. And they say, yes, it's very important. This is what I'm talking to my associate. And they're like, it's very important because, and people in your situation, and it does concern me, that they'll try to make a permanent solution for a temporary problem. Because it does not feel like I'm in a temporary problem. It does not. This feels like this is like going to last forever. Like this feels like torture, and that I can't see the end of. And I was talking to my associate, and they're like, "No, trust me. There's an end to the light. You're going to get through this. Trust me." Also talking to another one of my buddies, actually associate, and not my buddies, but another associate, told me like, "Look, man, I've been in your shoes. Okay, I've had my wife yell at me in my ear every day. As soon as she would get home, she would just start yelling at me. And luckily, my buddy was like, I just played it cool. I would just sit there, eat my dinner, and she's just in my ear yelling. Like, because what she's trying to do is get you to raise your voice or slap her or something, and then she's going to get you locked up, and then she can make all the decisions for the family without your interference. You know what I'm saying? And then how does it look? You locked up and you trying to come out and trying to plead your case and everything. We already know this judicial system is completely fucked when it comes to, sexism. That nobody's ever going to believe that the judicial system has their ways of handling things. That's the way they think. That's the way they are. Sometimes you would just want to say to somebody in law, can you use your common sense and see what's going on here? Can you see that she's the one cheating on me, and then she's going to try to take my house and my kids and then have me pay her to cheat on me? With the guy, you want me, you might as well just call up the guy and just let me write him a check right now. Just say, here, this is what I owe you for fucking my wife behind my back. So you want me to give her, okay, but they're not going off of that. They're going off of benchmark cases. Okay, we have Susie versus Franklin. We have Taylor versus St. Michael. And this is how the case was, and this is how the case happened. And they spend their careers, 20 years, 30 years to implement these cases, so they're not so much going off of, what you're saying and common sense. That's why you got to get a lawyer to kind of like, it's almost like a translator. It's like you talk to your lawyer, yo, the bitch was fucking cheating. And then the lawyer says, okay, judge, the other party was committing, was lacking affection in the house, committing acts of adultery, and it's like, okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, good way, good. Like family food. Good job. So, they were just like, they were just telling me how their wife was doing that because she wanted to get divorced. So she was making it torture for him. And he said, you know what? I was probably around your same age. So this associate, both of the associates I talked to were older people. The first associate, was a lady. She was probably in her early 50s, late 40s. This guy, he's he was probably in his like late 50s, early 60s. I tell you, I don't discriminate. I hang out with anybody and everybody who's cool. Even if you're not cool, sometimes I'll hang out with you. I just may have to shorten the duration of time. But and he was like, look, years later, and he also did tell me one more thing. He was also telling me that his buddy was going through the same thing. So they were going through it at the same time, and he said years later, I passed the bar, I bought a house, I got a new wife. My buddy did the same thing. They both became lawyers together. They passed the bar. He was like, I got a new wife. I didn't have any more children. He didn't. But he said my buddy, he had like one more child. And that's what's really important to me. That's why I kind of wanted to get the situation over with. Because, I'm like, man, I'm ready to buy another house. I'm ready to get, my situation together, but possibly start dating again. And who knows, maybe have another, one or two children. Like I'm ready to get my life started. Because right now I'm not living. I'm just putting out dumpster fire after dumpster fire after dumpster. When I wake up, it's what fire do I have to put out? Who's calling me now? Who is upset at me because of something? Oh, fuck you, you bitch ass nigga. You ain't shit. Okay, why do I gotta be all that? What did I do to you? It's constant over and over. So I can't wait to get to a point. And hence, this is another reason why I'm doing some social suicide, where essentially I've told all my in-laws fuck off, told all my best friends fuck off. And that's one reason why, because I'm kind of like, I need a new refresher. There's only one person who I'm saying, hey, if you're willing to work with me, I'll be willing to work with you. But if you're not willing to work with me, then I have to move forward. And that's my spouse. Like, I'm trying to talk, but it doesn't feel like anything's being receptive. It's just terrible. So, yes, back to interest rates. Okay. We're talking about interest rates, right? Right. In business, but essentially business is business. It is what it is. You got to know your rules. You got to know what you can do. You can't play games with these motherfuckers. These motherfuckers are so grimy and so disgusting that they're more willing to protect a company and an organization who literally does not give a fuck about them and puts literally a number behind their name. Now, your name may be Taylor, but to that organization, you're T1234. That's how they look you up in the system. Let me put in, what's your employee number? Almost just like a correctional facility. You know what I'm saying? Almost just like the United States of America. They give you that number. This is your 9-digit number. And it's like, okay, memorize it, because this is how you're going to survive in this world. Not by your name. Give a fuck about your name. Little Timmy. What's your name? Excuse me. Could you say your name one more time? You Timmy? Okay, Timmy. Well, let me tell you something. I don't give a fuck what your name is. Okay? All right? I will change your name in a heartbeat. All right? Your name is 012345. All right? You got that, Timmy? All right. Thank you. Now go get in the other line so that you can receive your taxes or your EBT or whatever it is. Thank you. Next. You know what I'm saying? So that's really all it is. And people are willing to just degrade people. I talked to my parents about being degraded at work. They said the world hasn't changed in 26 years. They say, damn, why do we work so hard? We worked so hard to get y'all through college, to get y'all transportation cards so that y'all can get to college and get jobs. And we do so much. And to hear that you're still going through it, it's like, what just happened? And I'm like, Mom and Dad, don't worry. Okay? Don't worry. Because I almost tried to buy a house in the middle of nowhere, whether it was West Virginia or British Columbia, in Canada. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to move to the middle of nowhere, and I'm just going to get away from all these problems. These are just problems that I don't got to deal with. And they would say, it was actually my spouse at the time, when we weren't fighting. He said, okay, you go, you live your life. You're in rural West Virginia or rural Canada or whatever, and you're chilling. You're going to your local grocery store and you're going home and you're smoking your, whatever you're smoking, drinking whatever you're drinking, fucking whoever you want to fuck, whatever. She didn't say that part, but, maybe me and her would be. And he says the rest of the world is still revolving. The rest of the world is still going. So you finally found your utopia, but the world is still fucked up for your future generations, for the current generations, and you just did it a service even to your ancestors, to your past generations. All those people that worked so hard for that. And I said, you know what? You're right. That wouldn't be right. And that's not who I am. No offense. I'm too smart and too handsome. I'm kidding. I'm too smart and too gifted to just there's a story about men who, it's a biblical story, about men who had talents and they loved their talents so much that they wanted to protect their talents. And what they would do, I think one guy buried it and one guy put his talents in a cage or something. And one guy put his talents to use. And God came back and said, hey, what happened to those talents that I gave y'all? And they said, oh, God, look, I buried mine. I still have it here. And the other guy was like, hey, I still have it here in this safe or whatever. And another guy said, I used mine. And God was like, why did y'all do that to your talents? I gave you those to do something with. So these are another reasons why House of Barf is kind of happening now in my mid-30s. It's not where I want to be. Creating content in mid-30s, come on, it's a desperate move. But I'm desperate times call for desperate measures. I'm desperate right now. So these are the kind of things. It's like, Chan, even at your dumbest, there's another associate I was just talking to about this. At your dumbest, you probably have way more knowledge about business, accounting, regulation, and finance. Accounting is getting ignored. I'm going to try to get a couple accounting books soon. I got to run to the store anyways to try to get this house fixed up to sell. But even at your dumbest, you probably have above average knowledge of possibly, and this, my associate went to an astronomical number. They said probably 90% of America. At your basic, just even if I was to say, what is a stock? You would probably have 90% of America who would have no idea. And this is what the scary part is. I worked at a wealth management firm. Man, I would say a bunch of the people at the wealth management firm didn't know what a stock was. I'm not kidding. That shit was crazy. And they're moving up the ladder, the corporate ladder, while my ass ain't going nowhere. And I try never to pull the race card because I'm always like, well, if I work hard, the opportunities will present themselves. But sometimes people are like, Chan, you're stupid. It's fucking racism. It's systematic racism. Can't you tell? And I'm like, come on, let's not always go there. Okay. Maybe I don't have the soft skills that people like, being able to make friends, being able to join the employee, the employee groups, like the Asian Women's Empowerment Society, or the Women in Leadership Society, or the African American Society, or the Trauma and something Military Society, and join these different groups. So maybe I just got to work on the soft skills and do all these things. And it's like when you come to a certain point, you're like, man, fuck that shit. All right, you work hard, you're authentic at work, and they can't stand that shit. That's on them. And that's another reason for Barf. I was like, you know what? If I'm going to do anything, I'm going to just go ahead and do something where I can be my authentic self. As you see, I'm not projecting my voice or doing anything crazy with my voice. I'm not sitting here just making comments that are just completely outrageous. I don't even have, they say truth is stranger than fiction. I don't have to make up. Like, you know what? I didn't even really want to touch on it, but I saw what happened to Bronny James. You know what I'm saying? I saw it. And it was heartbreaking. I'm like, man, fuck. This guy got a heart attack or something at 20-something years old. I can only imagine. If I go through what I go through with the phone calls and in public and people calling me names and trying to defame and smut my name, Can you imagine? And I'm not saying people are doing that to him, but also vice versa. I get a little nervous about success as well. Like I'm not, now people are saying it may not have been like a heart attack. You know what I'm saying? They said it could have been some electricity or something. I'm not sure, but it goes both ways. Oh, you're the man. You're the man. Oh, you're the shit. You're the shit. Oh, boom. People just lift you up, lift you up, lift you up. And the shit can get to you. You know what I'm saying? The success can get to you. You're like, oh my gosh, all these people are praising me. I could be wrong, but I feel like he's more in that situation than him going outside. You bitch ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? You hoe ass. You know what I'm saying? I don't really think Bronny James really deals with that. I think he's more so, his pop is obviously who he is. But there's things like that I don't even really want to touch on. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know what? I'm sticking to barf. If I'm going to talk about anybody, I'll talk about myself. And I don't really got to try to create content. Because seriously, just being Chairman alone is fucking crazy. And a lot of shit I can't even remember. People remind me. They be like, remember that time we did this? And I'll be like, who? Like, you. It was you and me. I'm like, dog, I don't remember. We did what? You said baseball bats? And who? Oh my gosh. No way. No fucking way. That wasn't me. My bad. My bad. They be like, yo, you a crazy motherfucker. I'm like, yo, my bad, man. I don't remember. Like that. The life is just crazy enough. I don't even gotta create content. I don't gotta do too much. Also, on the other end, I'm just excited to be able to do something that I enjoy. I'm enjoying this shit. Let's get to the market, all right? I'm about to wrap this episode up. Probably another episode of Chan Man's Journal. Probably said some shit I shouldn't have said. But let's go ahead and get it. Let's just check real quick before I cut this episode. I'm going to cut this episode. Just call it a Chan Man's Journal time. Let's see what's going on. We got about 3 minutes before the markets open. It's approximately 9:26 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's get started. All right, this is Chan Man. I want to thank anybody and everybody who decided to take time out of their wonderful day to kick it with your mans at the house. I appreciate it. This is Chan Man, House of Barf.